What's up guys, welcome back to the Alpha Kid. Today's video is meant to be super informative, especially for you all beginners. Today's topic is beginning investing on Robinhood. I'm going to teach you how to get started on Robinhood. So to begin with, how does investing work? More specifically, how does investing in stocks on the Robinhood app work? So for example, if I decide to buy shares of company XYZ, that means that I'm part owner of that company, a tiny portion of course, but part owner of that company. If that company makes profit, you will make profit. The value of the stock will rise, and so will your portfolio value if you have that stock. So if I have $100 available in my account and company XYZ is valued at $1 a share, I decide to buy 100 shares of company XYZ at $1. So that means I have 100 shares of company XYZ and my portfolio value is still $100. Now let's say company XYZ has some good news come out the following day and the stock price goes from $1 to $2. My 100 shares of XYZ have doubled in value. So now my portfolio value will be $200 as opposed to $100 because I've made $1 profit from each one of my 100 shares of company XYZ. Now let's say the opposite. Let's say company XYZ goes from being valued $1 a share to dropping to 50 cents a share. Then my portfolio value has now dropped from $100 to $50. I've lost half the value because company XYZ, who I was invested in, lost half their value. Now I only have $50. If I were to sell those 100 shares that are worth 50 cents, I would only receive $50 cash for those. So the point of investing is to buy companies that you think will raise in value over a long-term period of time, and that'll raise the value of your portfolio. Now you can choose to sell whenever you want. So if I would have sold company XYZ when my portfolio value doubled to $200, I would have made $100 in profit. And that $100 in profit will now be added to my portfolio and I'll be able to spend $200 on any stock I want. You can spend those on other shares or you can withdraw your money at any time you want. That's why it's important to research companies that you invest in. So the first thing you all gotta do is actually do some research. Learn how investing works, learn how you can make money, how it's risky. Learn everything you can before you actually get started investing. Some things you gotta know before you start investing. Most importantly, you have to know that there is a chance you do lose money. Investing isn't always just making gains and making money. Sometimes the market does turn down. Sometimes people do lose money. So you have to know that there is a chance that you can lose money. Secondly, you have to evaluate how much risk you're willing to take. I wouldn't suggest investing any money that you can't afford to lose. The only money I would suggest is extra leftover monthly money that you can't afford to lose. And thirdly, I would suggest doing research on individual stocks and just how well they've done in the past. Now, what I've learned in my journey in investing is that reading up on all this information isn't really going to teach you much. A lot of it just doesn't stick. Although it did help me, what helped me the most was actually jumping into my Robinhood account and investing my money. Having full control of my investments in my Robinhood account allowed me to understand from a different perspective other than just reading information from an article. So I've learned that experience is the best teacher. You don't want to experiment with your whole savings account. So what I would suggest is starting off with a small amount. I started off with $100 just to learn how the stock market works, just to get a hang of using the apps, learning all the widgets, learning all the options, learning all the settings that I have available to me on my Robinhood app. Of course, I wouldn't suggest using your $100 grocery money to go invest in Robinhood. The only money that should be invested is money that you can afford to lose. You need your groceries. Also, I wouldn't suggest using your kids' diaper money as investing money. They also need diapers. The next thing you do after you educate yourself as much as you possibly can is download the app and create an account. Now you will need to input personal information to create an account, such as your social security number, your address, your phone number, and all that kinds of information, because you will have to pay taxes at the end of the year on the money you gain. So a lot of people find it sketchy when Robinhood, an app they barely know nothing about, is asking them for their social security number. So it's normal because you do have to pay your taxes after. Now, if you do find yourself paying a lot of taxes at the end of the year, that means you had a great year. So paying your taxes isn't a bad thing. That means you had a lot of gains during that year. The next thing you gotta do once you create your account is connect your bank account that you wanna be funding your Robinhood account with. So like I said, I would connect it to a checkings account that has money, and I would start off with a small amount like $100 if you have never invested before. Now that your checking account is synced up with your Robinhood account, it's available for you to transfer money whenever you like. You can even set up monthly, weekly, or bi-weekly deposits into your account with the automatic deposit setting. Now I have my account set to automatically deposit $40 per month into my Robinhood investing account. However, I do manually transfer an extra $200 a month into that account as well. Of course, the more consistently you deposit into your Robinhood account, the faster you'll make gains. So I would suggest setting up at least a $20 a month automatic deposit on your account. Now, once you have that $100 that you invested into your account, it's available for you to buy any stock you want. So the next step, number three, research companies that you know in an industry that you know. For example, if you're an oil field worker, I would suggest you researching companies that you believe are going to be successful. Look at their data and determine whether their stock is worth buying or not. If you're a person who works for a tech company, look at these big tech companies, look at these startup tech companies, and see if you think they're going to be successful. Those small tech companies or those small businesses are good to invest in because they're cheap right now. If you really believe in them, then you know they're going to get bigger later on and make you a big amount of profit. Now, there's different types of investing you can do. You can invest in individual stocks for growth, you can invest for dividends, or you can invest in index funds. You can invest for the long term, you can invest for the short term. Now, depending on your goal, that's the amount of risk you should be willing to take. If your goal is short term and you want to be saving up for a house or a car, then you shouldn't be taking too much risk for your money. You should use it more as a savings type of account. I would suggest, leaving it in the savings account, in the cash management account that gives you an automatic 1.8% return if that's your goal. You don't want to end up losing money when you need the money in the short term. If your investing goal is in the long term, then I would suggest being more risky and investing in individual stocks, of course, with your diligent research, not just gambling your money away. But of course, if your goal is the long term, then you will be able to withstand more of a risk in your account. In my account, I have a mixture of dividend and growth stocks. Next, once you've done your research, now it's time to buy. Decide how many shares you want to buy and buy them. Once you've bought them, then you can see the stock price rise or fall, and your portfolio value will go along with it. I would suggest diversifying your portfolio a little bit, not too much, but the right amount. Now, once you do buy your first shares, you are going to see your portfolio value going up and down. Don't panic if it goes down. A lot of beginners tend to panic when they see their portfolio value going down. It happens. It's normal. It will recover. I guarantee it. You just gotta be smart and be patient with your money. Don't trade on people's news. The stock price will go up and down depending on news. But if you know that the company is being ran well and there's good management to the company, stick with it. Don't let news sway you from side to side, whether you buy or you sell. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. I hope this helped you all out. If you still have questions, leave comments and we'll be sure to get back to you all.